So
That's good with us.
all
For
around.
those uninitiated that don't know,
What?
Joe Garcia runs
Okay. Hey,
fastcustomshirts.com.
Lloyd.
Yeah,
I don't think we have sound. I just got a note that somebody said we don't have any sound coming through.
I have sound. I
I have.
show
We're
that it
good.
has sound.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then I guess it's good now. Look,
yeah.
just
I
keep
don't
doing
know.
what you're doing. Don't ignore me. All right. I just work here. It's my
Check the
first
sound
day.
on your computer.
It wasn't me. I just
No,
work
not you.
here.
I'm talking to the guy that says that they got no sound. Check their computer.
I
This is a
wasn't
tribute to
trained
silent
properly.
films.
It's
My
what
first
now?
day.
It's a tribute to silent films.
Yeah, we're doing a
I could do
tribute
that.
to silent films today. Where'd you see that? Was
Can,
that on Facebook or YouTube or?
can, oh, it was my wife told me she couldn't hear anything, so we were coming through anything. So,
Oh, Stephanie, what is
My wife
going
Yeah.
never
on?
hears anything I say either.
Okay, well,
uh,
if anybody else can't
well,
hear us, let us know. But we're going to go ahead and move
look,
on for now.
let's
We're
move
going to
on.
go ahead and
Let's move
talk
on.
to Joe Garcia with fastcustomshirts.com. Joe, we're going to go ahead and
Look,
move on for now. A
let's move
ton
on.
of t-shirts. You make our shirts for Texas Frightmare Weekend, and you have for years now.
Yeah.
You have a ton of shirts on your website. I'm just going to say that
Yeah,
off the
there's
bat.
quite a few. There's of course, all the various movie shirts. Some with just stupid sayings. I do a lot of shirts for independent filmmakers and whatever comes my way, really.
Yeah, you got
Nice.
it. You got so many categories on your website. One of them is you have a no category category.
Yeah, I don't know. That's part of the site. The site is something I've never really been happy with, but it's easy and it's very streamlined for me to just pop new stuff in there. And because I don't know how to code, I don't know how to do much on a computer aside from designing shirts. That's it, and talking trash on social media.
Well, that was more of a compliment actually, because I think it's cool to have a no category category because you have so many shirts.
No thanks.
So
Yeah.
before we move on with Joe, we're gonna chat with Charles. Charles has some breaking news for us. Go ahead, Charles.
I'm having Lloyd's baby. Oh,
Oh,
little
Charles, you weren't supposed to
little
say that.
Stevie, little Stevie's coming out, and no. Uh, so I just wanted to, give a quick shout out to our friends at Arrow Video. Something to bring up with Arrow that they had just mentioned to me that some of you may have saw, but Arrow Video actually just started their own streaming video on demand service. So I know some of our past live streams, people have asked Arrow, when are you going to have your own streaming service? Well, they actually do now. If you go to arrow-player.com, you can see info on it. But they are offering a streaming service that is available on the Roku, Apple TV, Android, and iPhone. And right now, if you sign up, you get 30 days for free. So they actually have a 30-day free trial rolling. And it's a fantastic thing to have a 30-day free trial because they have a lot of horror movies on there. So it is perfect for Halloween. It's October, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a good time for Halloween.
That's
So
a
I'd recommend
perfect time
checking
to
that
roll
out.
that out.
We are going to be offering a social media contest soon where Arrow Video is going to give a couple of our listeners a much longer trial. I'm still working on the final details with that with Arrow Video, but before we got into the show, I just wanted to recommend everybody go and check that out because the fact that it is 30 days free is really awesome, and there's a lot of great Halloween movies on there. And that's what I wanted to bring up to all of our fantastic people watching
Well,
as
I
I
think
continue to drink my
that's
wine.
I think that's pretty cool because before they had a streaming service, but it was just on Apple TV.
Yeah.
So now they're going across a few different platforms, according to you, right, Charles?
Yeah, a few different platforms. So it's their own standalone VOD service. So it's a cool thing to offer. And I signed up for the free trial, and it actually looks fantastic. It runs great. And yeah, I recommend everybody get on there because there's a lot of the great Arrow stuff on there, especially for October.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks for letting us know about that. We're all huge Arrow supporters. I know Joe's an Arrow supporter as well, right, Joe?
I've got a lot of their stuff. They've
Yeah.
in the past couple of years, they've put out a lot of samurai films and Asian action flicks that I dig a whole lot.
Yeah. Arrow's one
Yeah.
of those people that they kind of pull out that weird stuff that you've wanted to watch on a good version for like 20 years, and you're like, where the hell did you get this from? It's like,
Yeah.
thank you, Arrow. So, yeah, just wanted to
Yeah.
mention that to all of our listeners out there. Great chance to take advantage of that 30 days free right now.
I think last year, or yeah, at Frightmare, they had like little companion books to some of the films that they had, and those things were really cool. I don't know if they offer those on their website, but if you're a fan of some of these more obscure, or even some of the bigger, like Lone Wolf and Cub, stuff like that, those books are really, really nice.
Yeah, they offer those with some of their releases. They're usually pretty limited, and I know they've done it with like Hills Have Eyes and some other ones too. Many of them. Usually they go quick, so it's cool to see when you get them to add that onto your movie.
So once again, where can everybody go to find out more info on this? Is there a destination?
There is. So right now, if you go to arrow-player.com, that's just arrow-player.com, it will pull up the main VOD service. And from there, it has links off to Roku. And as well, if you're in Roku or Apple TV, you can just search for Arrow, and it'll pull up as the app you can download inside the service.
Yeah, and I am seeing now that they have an Android app too now. So iPhone, Apple TV, Android, and Roku. That's good news. Good news.
Very
All
good
right.
news. So thanks everybody. Yeah, check them out, and it's a good thing to have, like I said, right now during this time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get back to Joe Garcia, our guest
Yeah.
today. Joe,
The man.
how are you doing today? What's going on? Anything?
Today's good. I've got a couple of buddies coming over later. And last weekend, we drank a lot of craft beers that are dedicated to the Dallas Fair. So like a corn dog beer, and there was a funnel cake beer. And
I saw the corn dog beer. Did you put mustard on it? Is that the one I saw?
And as ridiculous as that sound, that was tremendous. It made it even better. I was taken aback by it. I was in awe of how good it was with mustard, man.
I want it.
So
I saw you posting those pictures. That's really cool. They
I
have
thought
like
it
a
was just
pickle beer
Joe.
too, don't they?
They do. There's a pickle beer. Today I have an apple fritter beer and a
I'm jealous.
Dr. Pepper beer.
Dr. Pepper beer.
Yeah, we'll
I need to
see.
go find these.
And
Where-
these are, well, they're really close to my shop. That's Lakewood Brewery that does it. And they're
Oh,
maybe
Lakewood.
5
Very
minutes
nice.
away from my shop, which makes it convenient for me, but it's also, craft beers can get kind of expensive. So,
Yeah.
That they can, man. But
Yeah.
sometimes you got to pay to play, right? You want
That's
those
it.
weird pickle corn dog play, right?
Right,
You want
that's
those
it.
weird
You gotta
pickle
roll with
corn
it.
dog
I
play,
played
right?
safe,
You
and
want
then
those
I
weird
learned at my
pickle
house, I
roll
don't
corn
have to
dog
drive. I
play,
played
right?
safe,
You want
and
those
then I
weird
learned at my
pickle
house,
roll
I don't
corn
have to drive.
dog
I
play,
played
right?
safe,
You want
and
those
then I
weird.
learned at
That's
my
why we
house,
do
I
this
don't
show,
have to
right?
drive. I
boys?
played
Right?
safe,
We
and
don't
then I
have to
learned
our drinks, and we have to go anywhere. We could just stumble out back to the couch and watch more movies.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of wine is that you're drinking there, Charles?
So I'm drinking Stella Rosa.
Okay.
And the reason I drink this is it takes straight like grape Welch's. That's it. Like there's no alcohol taste. You could drink 9 bottles of this and you won't even know what's going on. It's
Well,
like
I'm sure
something you
you'll know what's
it's
going
small
on after
children.
a while.
So
I recommend this though.
I'm curious. How did you get started making shirts, Joe? And how long have you been doing this?
I think maybe 12, 13 years. I worked with juvenile offenders for quite a long time in one capacity or another, and I really liked the work. I was really good at it. It's difficult but rewarding work, but it got to a point where I felt I was doing more paperwork than actually working, and it became more of a bureaucratic job, and I was just bored with it. So I took a chance doing this. I've got a really good friend that's always been one capacity or another type, and he's been a big influence. I really like the work. I was really good at it. He helped me out, get started. Just floated me some cash to get this equipment to get it going, and from there it was just trial and error. I didn't take any classes to learn how to do it. I've always been artistic. I've always been able to draw, but I'm too slow to make any kind of a living at that. So this kind of blends that in with it, and lets me do my horror stuff, man. I mean, it's just like I've always wanted cool horror shirts for myself, and when I started, there wasn't really a whole lot of people doing it. I think there was maybe one or two companies, and that's it. So I
Yeah,
just
back
wanted.
then you had like Rotten Cotton, I
That's it. They
think.
were the primary guys, and they were the ones you'd see in all the magazines. You know, Fangoria,
Yeah.
Rue Morgue. But yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
much it.
Rotten Cotton and Fright Rags, I think, were like the only two that were really doing it, right?
Yeah,
Around that
I don't know
time.
when Fright Rags came about, but shortly after, I guess there's this thing called the idea machine where everybody has the same idea at the same time. Then you just started seeing a bunch of companies pop up, and real good ones, good people that I've become friends with over the years, and meeting them at shows and hanging out with them, like Paul Bearer Press and Atomic Cotton. Uh, People like tend to think that we're in competition with each other, that we're at each other's necks all the time, but no, man, we're all good friends, and we all, whenever we're in a bind, we call each other and help each other out, or send business each other's way. It's a good community.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Do you
That's
know
nice.
somebody on Twitch with the username rtrev976? Does that sound familiar with you?
No.
He wants to know if you use Pantene or Fructis for your hair. I don't know who this guy is. I figure he knows
Whoa.
you, though.
I'm not on Twitch, but I use what do I use? Garnier. I use Garnier on these locks here.
Man,
Oh,
that is luxurious
Garnier,
locks.
that's high
I'm
class
jealous.
shampoo right there, man.
Yeah, it's high
Jealous.
class at Walgreens, and
I just use hand soap, That's all I use. It's
You
probably
don't
why I
have
look
any
like
hair,
this.
Charles. You
I
just
have hair. It's beautiful.
Oh,
So
but
Joe,
if
Joe, I guess
anybody, by the way, if anybody does have any questions for Joe, feel free to ask.
I got a lot of questions for Joe, man.
Yeah, we're
Don't
monitoring
worry.
all of your questions. Richard Nettleton wants to know, is he going to print the shirts for upcoming film, The Erotic Nights of Carlos Blueberry and Hot Days of Lloyd Cryer?
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, he'll print
that
anything.
is a
Yeah.
shirt.
He's ready.
yeah, that's on my to-do list. I have that on
Well,
the erase board.
Lloyd and I are still filming that movie. There's some scenes I can't get Lloyd to do, but I'm down for him, so I'm having to use some stunt doubles. But
Yeah.
I'm almost done.
I need
All
a
right.
body double for the naughty bits.
Um, no. So yeah, Joe. So when you do these shirts, what sort of is it? Just you sitting around and something pops in your head like I want a shirt like that, so you just start drawing it? Is that what happens?
Yeah, in some cases that's exactly how it goes. In other cases, people email me, and they'll have an idea, and then I take it from there. So I mean, I've got a long list of shirts I've yet to get to, and usually the more obscure, the happier I am with it, because those are the shirts that, although they don't sell well, those are the shirts that are. It's really rewarding when somebody sees it, recognizes it, and freaks out because they've never seen that on a shirt, or they've totally forgot about that film, or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's every time I go to Joe's shop, I always grab something and I'm like, oh Lord, look at this one. That's how I got this Inseminoid shirt. This is one of Joe's shirts. I was like, yep, Inseminoid, I need it in my life, and I wear it because it's amazing. And that's what I love about Joe is Joe seems to understand our strange mind of these weird movies that probably me, Joe, and Lloyd and like three other people know. But it doesn't matter. We want shirts for him. That's
and
how
then
it is.
a lot of these films also had multiple titles, and
Yep.
I try to use the more obscure title, and that throws some people off, but not the hardcore fans. No, there's people that, as small as the movie may be, it's got its fan base, and that fan base is
Yeah.
usually rabid.
Well, most shirt companies they only want to sell. They only want to take on shirts that they know are going to sell tons of shirts, and
Because they like money.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
a lot smarter than I am. Uh, they-
We're in it for the fun. We're not in it for the money, right, Joe? We're in it for the fun.
honestly,
looking
this is,
I'm looking
This
at
is-
your website, and you've got. I'm on the horror section. It's under movies and then horror, and there's 7 pages so far. Now there's 12. I'm just looking. How many pages do you have of horror shirts?
I don't know. I've lost track. Every once in a while, there'll be an order that comes in. I totally forgot I had that shirt on the site. Because like I
Right.
said, a lot of this stuff doesn't sell well, but I'm just I'm doing it for fun. And
Yeah, it keeps going. I'm up to 27 now. 20. I may be ending at 28 here. I think.
Yeah, but not even movie shirts. I mean, Joe's got all kinds of stuff on there. You name it, he's got it on there. If you can think of it, he's probably got a shirt for you. That's no joke.
What's the weirdest and most obscure shirt you've ever printed?
oh, I guess if you're if you look on the independents, because that's an even smaller base, because some of these films won't get outside their region. That's the good thing about horror conventions. A lot of these people get out and try to push their movies, and sometimes these movies are not very good at all. But but they
Don't
got
tell anybody.
heart in them. These people like care about what they're doing. They're having fun, and it's cool to help them out a little bit, because they're not making any money off of their movie.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always said about indie films is that they may be super, super terrible, but people have put blood, sweat, and tears into those movies. So it means
Very
something
true.
to them, and it's hard work for them. So, we always have to pay tribute to the indies,
I mean, like Lloyd said, no matter how maybe not in the good scale your movie is, there's still a lot of work that goes into it. It's not like it takes any less time than one that's really, really well done. So I find the goodness in every movie. I don't care. I'll say, even though how maybe not so good it may be, there's good parts of that movie. And sometimes it's the artwork that ends up on t-shirts. That's the truth.
Well, I mean, you guys, since you started doing this show, you're rewatching a lot of stuff, and once you watch so many horror films in particular, it kind of starts to blend into one. You get tired of it, and it's kind of like, you'll tune out on a movie real quick if they don't grab you in some way. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the indie guys, well, even now the guys that are not indie, the big guys, they've forgotten that. They've forgot, like, you have to have a hook. You have to draw your audience in right away and keep them there.
It's true. I mean, this day and age we have of so much media content, anybody with an iPhone can make a movie. Sometimes stuff gets lost nowadays. It's just, you may make something, but like you're saying, if you don't hook people or promote it right, nobody's ever going to see it. There's too much content.
There's a bunch of questions on here. Tons of questions for Joe. Joe, you have a fan base. You really do.
Look
You
at
do.
him.
I'm
Look
thankful
at
for
him.
that. I'm thankful
He's Joe.
for everybody that places an order with me, or that's come by the shop, or just spends time at the table at a show. They we start talking horror. I'm not just there to like push a shirt on them and send them on their way. It's like we start talking, we start laughing, about good horror, about bad horror, and other stuff that's not related, because like Charles said, I don't just have horror shirts. I've got all kinds of stuff on there. I love all kinds of film. I love books. I love literature, and it just runs the gamut.
Yeah.
I'm always entertained by your Facebook posts. If you guys don't follow Joe, you should, because he's got
really
some of
should.
the funniest and wittiest Facebook posts, and it's just great entertainment, and it's definitely distracting from all the serious stuff that's going on in the world.
Well, I'm glad you see it as that, because some people forget every once in a while that it's entertainment. I consider social media entertainment, and I try not to be serious about anything. So most of my stuff that I'll post is just it's a gimmick. It's a work.
Yeah.
but it's fun.
It's hilarious, and every time a celebrity passes away, you make these posts that you're totally confused with who has passed away. You get it mixed up, and
people still think he's serious. They're like, "No, Joe, it's this person." Joe's like, "Oh."
Every time.
And you always say who?
I think some of Joe's Facebook posts should be shirts, Joe. You should make those into shirts and sell them at like Frightmare. It's limited editions.
That's a good idea.
Wow, that is a good idea, Charles.
I'm
What
just
was
saying that'd be great to have.
what was the last celebrity that passed away that you remember, Joe? Was it God? I can't.
Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth died just a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago,
Yeah,
and America
Dr.
was sad
Ruth.
by her passing because all she's done for the advancement of women.
Right, and sexual liberation, and
Right, right.
I mean, she was a sexual pioneer, right?
Yeah, and the acceptance of accents. People with really thick accents had a lot. They had a really hard time before she brought that into America's consciousness.
Exactly. So I mean, Joe, if you follow him for nothing else, current events should be one of them, so you can keep up with. Joe knows all the big celebs that pass away, so just check him out because it'll come in handy, especially when Dr. Ruth died. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, Joe. Joe is an officer and a gentleman. I'm telling you, he's crazy.
Somebody asked a question for Joe. How many shirts do you make for TFW total beyond the ones that come automatically with VIP premium passes? This guy's trying to hone in on how many shirts we sell at Texas Frightmare.
He's trying to understand. He wants
It's
to
a
know
shit
the
ton.
business.
It's a lot.
It's a shit ton. Yeah, I'll just put it that way. It is a
It
shit
keeps
ton
me
of shirts.
busy for the month leading into Texas Frightmare weekend. It's quite a bit.
That's
And
pretty much all you do for a month, right? Before the show.
Yeah, I no matter how good the designs are, I get sick of looking at them after the month. It's just like that's all I'm looking at. So sorry.
I always feel terrible sending you our orders because I just know I envision Joe in that shop just pressing and screen printing away, and I literally feel bad every year for
I
sending you an
don't because
order.
it pays the rent. It's
Well,
So-
I still do because I just see you in that shop all alone. I mean, and I know you're not all alone.
He's
but
like, it's like
Yeah.
3 a.m. He's like all sweaty and dusty, and he's crying, and he's
he's
just like-
cursing me. Lloyd's a shithead. I hate Lloyd.
He has a shirt made with Lloyd's face on it with an X through it. That's what he wears when he works on his shirts. That's all he ever wears.
man, that's another idea.
I told you, I got him full of them, man.
There's your tin. I'm gonna write this down.
Seriously,
Dude,
write
you're-
them down. We need.
You're
X
welcome
Lloyd
to.
shirts.
You're welcome to make like a shirt of me with a big X on it if you want to. I'm fine.
But no, I got a quick mention of Juan Garcia, who runs my shop in Corpus. When I moved to Dallas, he took that over, and he does all the printing down there, and he's got a ton of shirts in that shop too. So anybody that's in Corpus, around Corpus, stop by and see him. Juan's a really good dude, and I'm lucky to have him working for me.
Awesome.
Do you guys
awesome.
do the website? Does it go to both shops? Is it whoever can get the work, or do you guys operate like separate websites now and stuff?
Well, honestly, like as much as the horror stuff and the movie stuff, that's really a small part of my business.
Mhm.
Primarily, it's the custom work. So, like we do
Nice.
stuff for schools, hospitals, churches, little leagues. Of course, we didn't do much of that this year with everything being shut down.
Yeah.
But that's the driving force of the business. It's also very, very boring work. So I always tell people the horror stuff that keeps me sane. That has me doing the stuff I really enjoy doing. The stuff that of course, anybody that's in this business, they know when you walk around somewhere randomly and you see somebody wearing your shirt, it makes you feel really good.
Yeah. So when you do stuff for independent stuff, like you mentioned, like baseball teams, do you do all the artwork, or do they come to you with a design already, or how does that work?
It's both. Sometimes they'll bring me a design. Other times they'll just give me an idea and I do the artwork for them.
Sometimes you get phone calls from people, and you post about those too.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are hilarious.
I've got.
He has the best customer service ever. I love Joe's customer service skills. They're so great.
You can tell right away when somebody's not gonna be easy to work with, or whether this
Yeah.
is just it's a trash phone call. So you deal with that accordingly, or I try to.
Well,
That's
there's that
That's gotta
saying
be fun when
the
you run your own
customer
business,
is
you know?
always right, but the
That
customer is not always right.
No, not at all.
I think of that old Sam Raimi movie. It should be the customer is always right, except like thou shalt not kill, except like that's how it should be.
I worked for a company that at one point they they kind of had an epiphany, and they decided that the customer isn't always right, and they decided that we could fire a customer when we needed to. And
Right.
every now and then we did fire customers. And sometimes
Yep.
you have to do that because they eat up so much of your time. You can't take care of the customers that really care about you as a business. And, and it's true. It's totally true. There are some customers that you just don't want.
Yes, it's not worth the headache a lot of the
Yeah.
time. I mean, if it's going to stress you out more than if you're just thinking about dollar signs, you're thinking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Definitely. With COVID, the uptick of COVID, have you seen an increase in a specific type of shirts? Has more been biological type horror shirts or anything like that? An uptick?
The website did see an uptick once those stimulus checks started coming around. People started buying more, and I guess the website's done really, really well, which helps offset all the other business that we lost. But there's never anything that really like trends on my website. It's always all over the place. The only thing that really did like get a real big pop, and that's is the shirts that I've been doing for the Saska twins. But that's because they know how to promote. They're out there and they'll tell everybody constantly where to get these things, and so that's been really cool.
Yeah. It is all about promotion, right? I mean, for everything.
A lot of it. And I guess it's
Going back to the independent people that I do shirts for. Some of them are great. They know how to get the product right in people's faces and get the orders going for them, where others just think the product's going to sell itself. And there's very few things that are going to sell themselves.
Yep.
And your shirts for your independent films, unfortunately, aren't one of them. So you've got to be able to do the legwork.
Yeah.
That's true. And I really wanted to pull some designs up for this, but there's so many great T-shirt Joe designs. I love some of the randomness. Like you said, you may not see a trend, but I think it's because you offer everything. And my favorite areas of all yours is your exploitation stuff. Like you have penitentiary and penitentiary 2 shirts. I'm like, who offers those amazing films? It's got to go to Joe. You got to go to Joe.
Yeah, I like to make shirts of the films that I enjoy watching. So you'll see a lot of bizarre, random women in prison movies.
Love women in prison.
A favorite
movies.
genre of mine.
Hey, we should do a show where we talk about women in prison movies. We could bring Joe back because
There's plenty to choose from. I'm always down for that conversation.
there is plenty.
My favorite one is your NBA shirt. Tell everybody about your NBA shirt.
That is the National Borrachos Association. Anybody that's played the Mexican bingo game Loteria, there's one panel that's El Borracho. And there's no Hispanics in the NBA, so National Borrachos, we drink a lot.
I learned about Loteria a few years ago from some Hispanic friends, and that's the first card they all tell you about is El Borracho.
El Borracho. Well, I know about Loteria, but for my wife, because my wife's Hispanic, so I think I know mostly because she would always play the Loteria scratch-off games, and she would just yell out all the names of it, and I'd be like, "What's going on? El Pescado!" I'd be like, "Oh, okay. Did we win? No. Oh, okay."
He won.
It's just real exciting to hear.
There's no we won. It's she won. Yeah, my wife plays the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did we talked about what is your favorite? Do you have an actual favorite? I don't think you named one yet. A favorite weird shirt that you've done?
The one I have on, this Phantom of the Opry,
Oh God.
is one of my favorites, and these are the shirts that I've been having the most fun with within the past couple of years. Is these mashup things like I did a Twilight shirt that has the Lost Boys on it.
Oh God, I remember that one. That was a great shirt.
The Breakfast Cult,
Candyman.
the Candyman with Sammy Davis Jr. on it, and just plays on words and plays on titles.
I remember the Lost Boys Twilight one. I remember that because somebody at Facebook was like, "Those are the wrong people." It was like, yeah, that's the point. They were like, "Oh, okay. Like they had no idea you were being funny. They're like, he doesn't know that's Twilight. I was like, he does. It's funny.
Joe is the Onion of the T-shirt world.
All the layers, many
those
layers.
Those jokes that people just don't get. You know, I mean, I used to love the Onion. Whatever happened to the Onion? It seems like it's gone now.
Yeah,
Maybe we can take it over. Who
there
knows?
was a lot of copycat sites that came out, and they're doing that kind of thing now too.
Yeah. So you're open. What are your hours at the shop, basically? Whenever you feel like it, or
Whenever I get there until whenever I leave, but I tend to work kind of late, but I don't really ever know when I'm going to get there. I like to think, well, I'll get there at 10, and then I'll start reading here in the mornings, and I'll turn on an episode of something, whatever I'm watching. Then it's already 10:30. I should probably get going in about
So
10
the key
minutes.
here is go to Joe's shop. There's a good chance Joe will be there, but he might not be there. So if he's not, just wait. Joe will eventually be there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
and when you go, the proper etiquette is to bring beer.
Yes.
Bring beer to Joe.
Yeah. Bring beer. We can hang out and talk horror. I'll probably be working while you hang out there, but that's cool. I can work and talk at the same time.
There you go.
And Joe
I might
definitely
put
knows some
you
horror.
On the shirt press, a lot of the people that have come, they've end up pressing shirts for me just because they want to do it and they want to see what it's like, and I don't mind that. It's like that whole Tom Sawyer thing, no, it's fun. You give this a shot. And it's like, all right,
You should really,
computer, you
you
knock
should
it
really
out.
come over here. Press these shirts for me. You're really gonna love this. Now, I normally don't let people do this, but you're here. I'm gonna let you do it. All right.
So you're good friends with Tom Martino. Y'all do a podcast together, right?
We do. It's the DWN's Terrible Horror Crap Podcast. That's the first time I think I've gotten that name right. You can listen to all the episodes on boygob.com.
Boygob.com.
Boygob.com. And me and Tom can be pretty abrasive in the way we talk and stuff. So if you're easily offended, give it a listen.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Check it
why
out.
not? Yeah. If you're looking for something to be offended by, this is the show for you.
Yeah.
You guys just came out with a product recently. Tell us about the new product.
We did a mummy bundle, which we had pre-orders for, which came with a mummy t-shirt, a mummy mask. Tom, for people that don't know, dwnproductions.net, check out his stuff, man. He does amazing mask work. And
yeah, he does.
It came with that, some stickers from each of our companies, and a bag, a trick-or-treating mummy bag. So I think pre-orders on that are done, but maybe Tom has a few more of the masks. Those things look really, really cool.
Yeah.
Were they full masks? Were they a full mask, not a half mask? Like a full-on
It's
mask?
a full mask, yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
You said mummies are hot right now. They're in.
Yeah, mummies are hot. They're not. I'm just, that's the promotion thing.
Oh.
You got to get in front of the people.
Oh, I thought
mummies
they
are
were
so hot right now. And if you guys aren't into mummies right now, something's wrong, because mummies are where it's at. So get down, get some mummy stuff, all right?
It's all about
Seriously.
mummies. Yeah.
This isn't your normal Universal mummy, right?
Oh, no.
Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser's mummy.
I rewatched that trilogy just over the past few days, and the third one doesn't really have a mummy in it.
So he's got Jet Li in it, doesn't it?
Got
You're like,
Jet
what's
Li
going on?
And Michelle Yeoh, so it's kind of, I don't know. He's a
It should be
stone
the
man.
mummy.
It's weird. It's a weird film.
It should have been the mummy with a question mark at the end of it. That's how they should have done it.
I'm actually writing a song for the next DWN's Terrible, whatever we call that show, that's about the Mummy trilogy. So if you listen to the next show, you'll hear that tune.
Ooh.
Do you stream the podcast live, or is it recorded and then put up?
It's
Is it a
recorded and
specific
then
day?
put up the next day. We do it weekly. We usually
Okay.
have a top 10 list at the end of every episode that's ridiculous, like top 10 movies. I think the last one we did was movies that inspired a toy line and things like that. So we're already running out of ideas there too. So it's becoming quite a stretch.
You guys are smart. You record it and edit it and put it up in a proper format. Not like us. We're idiots. We go live.
Not here.
Whatever happens,
He does
happens.
all the work. I don't do anything but
Yeah.
sit up and talk with him because I'm not that industrious, so he takes care of all that.
That's smart because Lloyd knows that sometimes the live stuff has backfired on us a couple of times while doing this.
It does, but we just keep going. We're like, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We've got a few questions here. I want to get to as many as possible. Are you answering questions today, Mr. Garcia?
I'll answer some questions. I'll entertain.
Thanks,
some
Joe and
questions,
Lloyd
I
and
should say.
Charles.
He'll do two
Jack o'
questions.
lantern, black
Right?
heart. Jack
Good.
o' lantern, Jack o'
Two.
lantern, black heart. Jack o' lantern, Jack
So-
o' lantern.
You guys couldn't see this, but we just got a $5 tip from Ingrid. Thank you, Ingrid.
Oh,
And-
thanks, Ingrid, for giving us the tip. We appreciate it.
Yeah, she put a bunch of emojis in there, and it was talking over the video, and it was going, black heart, jack-o'-lantern, black heart, jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, that's amazing. I love when it does that too because it's just randomness, and I love it.
Yeah. Let's see. Eduardo Gonzalez wants to know when we visit your shop, what kind of beer is acceptable to bring as a token?
Hey, I'm never gonna downplay or snub my nose at any beer that's free beer. If you're bringing it, I'm gonna drink it.
Even Miller Lite?
Miller Lite. That's what my wife drinks, so I have to drink that. I've gotten used to that beer over the past
about-
3 years.
Milwaukee's best.
I'll
Is it the
take
best
it.
of Milwaukee?
Even the new strawberry Milwaukee's best or whatever they have. If it's free, I'm gonna drink it.
Pabst Blue
You
Ribbon.
know,
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
nothing wrong with PBR,
stump,
man.
We can't stump Joe.
What about that one they sell at Walgreens? That's like Pitt Springs. It's like $3 for a 12-pack.
That was Big Flats, I think it was called.
Big flats.
Yeah,
That-
I picked
that one
up
okay?
a 12 of that when it first came out because it was like $3 for a 12 pack,
$3 for a 12-pack.
and I had
It
to
was
try
called the
one
Wino Special.
here, and that was horrible. But
Did
The
it do the
last
job, though?
the last time I spent around $3 for a 12-pack of beer was it was Schlitz.
Schlitz malt liquor?
Schlitz, and I think it was like $2.89 for a 12-pack or something way back.
I've got a
Ah.
buddy whose dad still drinks that, and he has to go to one particular store just to get it. I think they stock it just for him.
You never see that anymore. Another beer
Yep.
you never see anymore is Michelob, actual Michelob.
The regular
Yeah.
Michelob, right?
Oh, the regular.
That's
see the
all
light
my
Michelob.
my mom would drink a beer like once every 6 months or so, and that's all she would ever drink was Michelob. And we took her out to eat before she passed away a few years ago, and she ordered a Michelob, and they brought her one of those Michelob Ultras, and she just wouldn't drink it. She was like, "That's disgusting."
We do have some more good questions on here, though. Travis Brown asks, what is the hardest T-shirt that you've ever had to make?
Maybe last year's or the year before that, the Werewolf Texas Frightmare Weekend shirt. I had a great amount of difficulty getting that lined up, getting the color scheme right. It was hard, but it also, I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot of stuff that I could do that I couldn't do before that I'm doing now on a regular basis. And called in a lot of people, asked for advice on this and that. So yeah, thanks,
And
Lloyd.
again, that was my fault. I kind of did something different that year, and I just reached out to an artist that I had seen that I really liked their stuff on, and asked them to do a design for us. And it was Elvis Dead is the name of the people,
Yeah.
and their stuff. It was beautiful, but it proved to be very difficult for Joe, and I've felt bad ever since about that.
But
Final product I was very happy with. It came out really, really good, and I'm happy with it. And like I said, it was difficult, but I learned a lot.
that's always good, though, when you learn something. I mean, I guess that's the best way when something is difficult that you learn something from it, not just, it was a nightmare and for no reason, What else did we have in there, Lloyd? There was a few more good questions in here I saw popping up.
Well, I'm looking at Todd Lewis's, where he's asked about how many shirts we make, and that was tons.
I think another one I saw in here was, Richard Middleton asked, have you ever turned down a shirt design?
Yes, I do that actually on a frequent basis. There's times when I just don't like the design at all, and don't want to do it. I don't want my name associated with it because it's so bad. Or, well, that's usually mainly the reason for doing it. I take on a lot of work, but something, if it just looks bad and the customer or potential customer won't budge, I'm not going to do it.
Makes sense. Todd Seeley also asked that he said he started a podcast recently and was wondering if there was a minimum number of shirts, like if he could order a limited run of shirts, or if you have a minimum.
My minimum for custom work is 12 shirts. You can contact me at fastcustomshirts.com and I'll give you the pricing. We're more than reasonable, and our turnaround for the custom stuff is really quick.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, because
What was it bad? I mean, a lot of times when you see custom shirt places, they want like 100 shirts or like 200 shirts. So 12 shirts is more than fair, more than reasonable.
The thing for anybody that's shopping around for custom work, for shirts, find out firsthand what their setup fee is, what their artwork fee is, because a lot of these places charge that, and you end up spending like maybe $80 before you even have anything, before you have any product. And we don't do that. That's just an industry standard. So I'm not slighting the people that do that, but I just don't see a reason for it.
So R. Trev is asking about your T-shirt record. It's pressed on clear vinyl. He might play it for you. So there's a shirt, a T-shirt Joe shirt, right? Song, right?
There's a friend of mine, John Cross, who has a band. It's like a one-man band thing. It's called Miscellaneous Plumbing Fixtures. And he and another friend, Ed Quinlan, wrote a song about me. And this past year it was offered on vinyl. So I had to get a copy of it. I'm not going to play it on here. I'm not going to do that to everybody, but I'll post a link to where you can listen to it afterwards.
I think it's on
kind of upset
SoundCloud, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm kind of upset we didn't have it when we introduced Joe. I feel like it should have been playing when he came on.
Yeah, kind of like a Johnny Carson or something where they play out the guest. We
and he should have been like waving when he came on.
Yeah,
I'm kind of upset.
The album's really cool because John wrote a couple of extra verses and an intro to it, and he sings about his time here in Dallas because he came over to the shop and he got to screen print a shirt. And I'll put you to work, man. So it's a lot of fun. It's really my wife says it's very narcissistic of me to play that all the time, 24/7. But hey,
so another question from Todd: has anyone ever told you that you look like Tom from Slayer?
Yes, I've had that. 2 or 3 years ago, I had a really big beard too. So yeah, I got that a lot. Before that, I guess when I was younger and didn't have any kind of beard, I would get Bret Hart a lot and Ronnie James Dio, which is really flattering as he's one of my he is my favorite vocalist.
Can you sing like him for us?
I've heard that Dio didn't really die and that you are Dio and you're in hiding making shirts.
He is Dio.
Eased into the T-shirt business rather than singing. Yeah.
There's one guy yelling this question over and over again. Redneck Redneck one is. I mean,
can you yell?
I didn't just
yell the question, Lloyd. Yell the question. All right.
Redneck one says, "Joe, are you still having a 5XL shirts from your T-shirt supplier?" And yelled that about 6 times.
Joe. I got a case of 5X in just 2 days ago. So the drought is over. I hope it stays like that. But they'd been really hard to find for like 3 months.
I don't know, the way he said it made it's like he was blaming you for having a shortage of 5XL shirts.
I don't sew these things together, man. There's probably some kids in the Philippines that are doing that, and they're hard workers.
Man, Joe.
Okay, Redneck, I don't know if you heard that, but we got an answer. 5XLs. The shortage is almost over.
I thought maybe like Joe was saying, "Oh, I don't have any 5XLs," and then Joe would post pictures of himself like laying naked in a thing of 5XL shirts, like, "Ooh, I'm all out of them, guys." But they're comfy.
Richard Nettleton wants to know: will you do a limited run of Frightmare HQ Speedos and thongs?
That is an idea. I have my distributor does offer thongs now, so we'll see how
I
Give it a shot. Who knows? But
I definitely have an ideal for some Frightmare HQ stuff I need to talk to Joe about because I have a lot more shirts in my head that only Joe would probably understand and print. So
Redneck One just apologized for the all caps, and then he said, laughing
No.
my ass off, Lloyd. I'm just giving you a hard time. We're just having fun, guys. So-
sorry, Lloyd. I couldn't hear you, Lloyd. What was that, Lloyd?
I said
I'm sorry. What was that, Lloyd? You could. Okay.
5XL shirts on the way.
they are.
They're
Go place
here?
an order now before they're gone.
Yeah, they're gonna be gone tomorrow, guys.
Going
Make
back
sure it's
to
all
the
about mummies,
Going back to the
Mummy
Speedos,
5XL
can you
shirts.
print on the string?
please.
No.
On the string, I want it to be. Oh, can you have like little like fabric hanging off the string? That's like a fabric of me, a fabric of Lloyd. That way you
I
put
could
it
probably
up your
get a
butt.
glitter marker and draw it, but that's
That would look like butt hair.
yeah.
Sure.
Each one will be custom.
I don't care. I'll model it. I'll model it for the website. I'll be like, hey guys, welcome. Would you like to buy one? I'll sell them all out.
We might want to get some of those limited edition Charles Panty Raid panties, said Travis Brown. Charles does panty raids on our show quite frequently, especially
Heck
during
yeah, I do.
the when we're watching a movie. So
I keep panties all the time. I got Jurassic Park panties. You name it, they're here. I wear 'em.
What other questions you guys got? Todd Lewis said Milwaukee's best is only good when it's free, and even then, it's not that good.
Well,
It's questionable.
It's good, but I will drink it. Is what I'm saying.
I mean,
I think-
you can still get drunk. It doesn't taste good, but you can still get drunk on that stuff.
Right. It's better if you're
Yeah.
already drunk when you're drinking that.
Right, because you don't taste anything after a few beers anyway.
I mean-
Everything tastes the same. So
Yeah, after 4 beers, you can transition into that Walgreens beer, and you're good.
I don't think they
Kinda
sell
ease
that
yourself out.
anymore. I hope they don't sell that anymore.
Well,
I still see it at some Walgreens. Like they have it in the back, and they just bring it out every now and then. Like here, it's $1 now. They're like here you go.
Aldi's has their own beer and
Do they?
wine.
Oh
yeah.
god.
I've seen advertisements for that. Joe, you're probably old enough to remember back in the day where you could go in a grocery store and just buy the beer that was like Black Label and it just said beer on the front.
Yeah.
What happened to that stuff? I
That
guess
whole
nobody bought it.
generic aisle. Yeah, they used to have a whole aisle with nothing like pickles, plates, just
Yeah,
And beer?
It was just a white label, and in black it said like cookies, or and you were like, oh,
like
okay.
the stuff you saw in like 1960s sitcoms, that kind of stuff. It was like
no,
beer.
it was a real thing, man. There's a whole aisle.
Yeah,
Nice. I think you need your own T-shirt, Joe Beer, though, to go with your song. You really
That
do.
would be great. Yeah. That's one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time is try my hand at brewing, but that's another expensive hobby. And if you're a horror fan, you already have a big expensive hobby. You're always spending money on random dumb stuff all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
all this crap behind me, it's just
You-
like that's just a portion of it. Lloyd's been in my shop and he's seen the mess of collectibles I have just thrown here and there.
yeah. You got
I know how to
a big back stock of your own collectibles and stuff there. I always say, why don't you open a store, Joe,
Joe.
and sell your collectibles?
I mean, the horror fans, they know how to get us. They're like, oh, we're bringing out the 9th version of the same movie on Blu-ray. And everybody's like, all right, I'll buy it. I need it. You know how we are.
This one's in a tin though, so yeah.
Oh, it's
you
in a tin?
have it.
Oh, I'm buying it. It's on. People come over to your house. They're like, why do you have 39 copies of Dawn of the Dead? It's like, I don't know. Why don't I have 42? What's the problem?
Because that's all they put out.
what do you got? Anything cool coming up that you want to talk about?
Halloween's coming up.
Do your sales get better during Halloween? Do you usually see an uptick?
Actually, yeah. People start ordering more horror stuff. Actually, in the past month, a lot of the custom work has come back. So
I
I don't
see.
know what this means for society or the economy that people are trying to get back to normalcy or whatever. But I'm happy for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a film festival in Houston that I'll be doing at the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
And really, that's it. I mean, everything's been canceled this year. But
Yeah.
So you're doing
anybody
like
that
their
wants to stop by the shop, I mean, stop by. I mean, we
Yeah,
can
are
please
you
always.
doing
do.
like their festival shirts for that film festival, like their actual festival shirts?
Well, this is more like it's like a little pop up thing. Their
Oh, cool.
festival was scheduled earlier this year and then was canceled, just like everything else was. So they're trying their hand at just a small pop up, and they've been really cool with the vendors. So it seems like they're primarily doing it for the vendors, just so the
Yeah.
vendors
Yeah.
can make a little cash, recoup some of their losses, and that's really cool. I'll drop a link to that
Well, tell us what it
in
is
thread
too.
afterwards too. Yeah.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
it? What's the name of the festival? Is it
Man.
the Houston Horror Film Festival?
Yes, there you go.
There
Okay,
you go.
yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Houston Horror
I
Film.
know
Some good
before.
guys running that show.
Yes, they are.
I know-
They're really tremendous guys, and like
Yeah.
like you guys, they are true horror fans. They're not just flash in the pan dudes that are throwing a festival or convention just try to milk people out of money. They
Mhm.
really, really care and enjoy what they're doing.
Those are the best ones, and yeah, those guys
Yeah.
they are. I'm drawing a blank on names right now, but I know two of the guys. One of them's a filmmaker himself, right? He made God, I can't remember the name, but we've shown his movies at Frightmare in the past. So
Well, I mean, like you said, those are the best people, and usually you can tell somebody's actually a fan if they're just trying to make money from the first time you can talk to them.
yeah, well, it
It's
feels
always good to find these.
it always feels organic when it's a fan doing it. You can tell when they're not fans because they just don't feel organic. They feel kind of forced, and and that one definitely feels organic.
And at the Corpus shop, I think the weekend before Halloween, Juan is doing a trunk or treat type thing there for kids. So, and it's going to be as safe as we can do it. People are going to be spaced out, but just something I mean, a lot of the kids, they haven't had a chance to do anything really this whole year. And I know it's affected them. I see that with our own kids, they're just kind of bored most of the time. And just, you can only look at screens for so long, which we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing any pop-ups at your shop? Maybe bringing some people together in a nice little distance way.
I've done a couple, but unfortunately, like this was right when this pandemic hit us, and people were really, really frightened, justifiably so, about going out or interacting with anybody. Once things settle down, get back to normal, we're gonna try doing that again on maybe a semi-regular basis, like maybe every quarter or something.
That'd
Awesome.
be cool. I'd like
We'll
to
stay tuned for
like
that.
to be out there. It'd be good to see everybody and have a nice little pop-up. Maybe we could do even if you do a pop-up, we could do a show from there or something.
Yeah, and I'd
Everybody out there.
like some of my other friends in the industry, the other vendors, to come out and set up their stuff. I'd love Tom to come and sell some of his masks from here, some of his films. Craig with his shirts, because his stuff is radically different from mine, and plus I always want to buy some of his stuff too.
Yeah. That's how we're fans. We want to buy stuff too. That's kind of how we are.
Yeah, even
Like,
from
how is
the people that sell the same product that we do, we want to buy from them because
Well, that's
So,
what
Joe,
I hear a
you-
lot from people. Some of our vendors, they say, "Man, I go to a show and I vend and I make enough to buy from my other vendor friends."
It just pass the money around in circles. That's how it is.
we
That's how
do. We do a lot of that. There's a lot of vendor trading, a lot of vendor giving each other deals and stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I always come back with a lot of stuff from Frightmare, especially.
Yeah.
Joe, you're a big
Well-
comic fan. I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and about your
Yeah.
comic fandom, some of your favorite comics, maybe even stuff that informed you or inspired you in your early years.
Well, I think the thing that really brought me into horror was the comic Swamp Thing, and
Nice.
Right.
I read those as reprints when I was a kid, and like the first 10 issues of Swamp Thing are just the horror tropes. They go through, they've got a werewolf story, you got a vampire story, you got a haunted house, an alien invasion story. So they go through all that, and I think that's really really the thing that hooked me, and I just wanted, to read and watch scary stuff from that point forward. And I love the form. The comic book form is different from any other. It really, when there's the good balance between writing and the artwork, it's something else. It's incredible.
You can do so much in a comic book that you, especially back in the day, that you couldn't really do on screen.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always thought back then at least, the comic adaptations would usually fail, because how could you replicate that,
Yeah, and we
That's true.
saw that with the first Swamp Thing movie. Wes Craven, capable filmmaker, but they were limited by what they could do with the costume and the effects and all that.
Yeah,
Did you
it's
get to
true.
meet Bernie at the show
Yes.
a few years ago? Was that
Yes,
your first time meeting him like it was mine?
Mm-hmm. And what a tremendous artist. And shortly before his death, he did a Frankenstein story with Steve Niles, and you can find that in a hardback form. He died before it was finished. Another artist came in and took it over, but that artwork, man, if you're a fan of Bernie Wrightson, if you're a Frankenstein fan, you have to check this book out. It's just amazing.
To me, Bernie's number one when it comes to art, especially horror art. It's so complex, and I don't even know how to describe it. Every time I look at his art, I feel overwhelmed in a good way. That's how it makes me feel, because there's so much going on, so much detail. It's incredible. And I remember at the show, him and Steve were hanging out, and I walked up to him and said hi, and Bernie looked at me and said, "I've sold everything that I brought." He said it was amazing, and I was just, man, that humbled me so much, having someone of his magnitude, an artist of his magnitude, tell me how great he did at our show.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I live for. That's the kind of stuff that makes me feel accomplished at the convention.
Yeah, when he was there, I got to flip through the portfolios that he had, and even just some of the sketch work, the very, very rough sketches are amazing to look at. He had a lot of his work from the Dark Tower books with Stephen King that he illustrated. That's just fantastic, man. It was an honor to meet that guy.
Oh, same here.
The first time I remember being introduced to his work was the early 90s. There was a trading card series that had Bernie Wrightson's artwork on it. It was like 92 or 93, and I remember I bought, I was younger then. I bought a whole bunch of those packs, and I was like, all right, this guy's awesome. That's kind of how I always remembered being introduced to him. And then, of course, it built from there. But really has his own style that when you look at it, it's Bernie,
Yeah. So with that, too, I mean, I bought, as a kid, a lot of the anthology comics like Creepy and then House of Mystery. And he would occasionally pop up on there. But you got to see so many great artists who were just starting out at their beginning of their careers in those books, and I still like flipping through a lot of that stuff even now.
He was co-creator of Swamp Thing, right?
Yes.
And who was the writer? I can't remember. Bernie Wrightson, but he wrote it too?
I'm sorry, Lynn Wein and
That's
Bernie
right.
Wrightson. Yeah, there you go.
Lynn Wein and Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah. So
that was a huge one for me too, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first appeared, I think it was in early 70s. Was it a House of Secrets or something it appeared in? Was the first time we ever saw Swamp Thing?
Yes.
House of Mysterious Secrets, or was it just House of Secrets? I can't remember.
I think it was House of Secrets.
Okay.
And then it was just kind of like a throwaway book from DC for a while, and then they brought in Alan Moore, and that changed everything. That changed that comic and changed the face of comics forever. I mean, that was a pivotal time, and those stories, I've reread those recently, and they hold up. There's nothing that's been lost with the power of that stuff.
Yeah, it's true. And even the movie, I know you briefly mentioned the movie, and I always felt like, while they were limited, I felt like Craven really was ahead of his time, because the Swamp Thing movie really felt like what Tim Burton did a decade later for Batman. He kind of started it with that, and then people always attribute it to Tim Burton, with his dark styling, and I'm like, well, it was kind of Craven kind of started it with Swamp Thing. Even though the Swamp Thing didn't work out too well, he kind of started that dark styling,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bizarre flick. in my opinion. But it is crazy, and it's something that I rewatch every now and then.
Yep. For Adrian Barbeau, that's why you watch it, Lloyd.
Yeah, I watch the European cut.
You watch just 3 minutes of the movie, guys. Don't let Lloyd fool you.
3 minutes? How dare you think I could last that long, Charles?
I know. 93 seconds, guys.
I did enjoy the second one. You know, it just, it establishes right off the bat this is going to be a goofy movie. So that one, let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, and
Sometimes
the
you gotta
TV
do
series.
that. You're like, just throw it out the window.
The the horrible cartoon that they had as well, where he's having adventures in the swamp.
I was always amazed that Swamp Thing had that much legs to do, not one movie, but a sequel and a live action series and an animated series. It was like, wow.
Didn't Jim Warnowski do the sequel? Was it
did.
the person who did? Okay, I thought so.
A good thing about the cartoon is it gave us some pretty cool Swamp Thing toys.
I remember those, yeah.
Well, it was
Lord.
definitely a franchise that was worth, they were just trying to figure it out, I think, and trying to figure out how they could get it to stick, and unfortunately it never did. I still haven't seen the new
I haven't seen the new one. Have you seen it, Joe? Is it any
It's
good?
very slow. Yeah, I picked
Okay.
up the first season somewhere at some store, and it
It's
took
like
me
$1.
while to get through it. I mean, the Swamp Thing looks fairly good, but
Okay.
that's about it. It's a very, very slow show.
I think
Yeah.
Joe needs to direct Swamp Thing. If somebody's listening, Joe needs to direct Swamp Thing, the movie.
I would love to do that.
It'll be NC-17. It'll be perfect. All right, we're ready to do it.
Let's get my buddy David Gregory to come in and finance this.
Yes.
Yeah,
David.
with Severin.
Yeah, enough of these
Yeah.
documentaries, David. We need the
Yeah.
Swamp Thing movie.
Swamp Thing. If you guys want, I'll play Swamp Thing. I'm down. All right.
Well, Joe, it's been amazing having you on. I'm so glad you were
Yeah.
able to come on with us today.
Love talking to Joe.
I just enjoyed just having a kind of a laid-back live stream with you today because I feel like we've just been talking with friends, which we are.
Yeah.
And that's been a nice change of pace for this show. So thank you for coming on, Joe.
Oh man, I loved it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys spreading the word all the time, as often as you can. It's a big help, and I'm glad to be part of Texas Frightmare Weekend.
We're glad to have you
around.
part of the family. You're definitely part of the family, and it's a huge family.
Yeah, it is.
And,
The real question is, Joe, do you have any Battlefield Earth T-shirts? Because I
I
really
don't. I don't, but I should.
need one. All right, I'm gonna put that out there.
Would you like a copy of Battlefield Earth
Sure.
on
Look, guys.
VHS?
I'm
what?
down
I've
to
never-
9 copies.
I've
I'm
never-
down to 9 copies on VHS. So if you want one, they're going like hotcakes. They're free.
All right. I have the VHS player hooked up actually in the bedroom. So.
Oh, this is going to Joe then, guys. Joe's getting a copy of Battlefield Earth. All right.
Just for, I don't know if you've been watching, but Charles has a glut of Battlefield Earth VHS tapes. Some are new and sealed, right?
Yeah. So I gave away all the ones that were new and sealed. Like, people jumped on the ones that were new and sealed. They were like, I want them, Charles. So I gave away 6 copies total. I'm down to 9 now. So I've got 9 copies that are relatively new, though. This one I've got is from Blockbuster. It says, please remember to rewind, from Blockbuster.
So when there's a resurgence of Battlefield Earth interest, you're going to be the genesis of this, right? You're responsible for bringing this back.
I'm bringing it back. I'm acquiring every VHS tape known to man, and I'm going to keep them all. And I'm going to be the peddler of Battlefield Earth.
And then you're going to feel
That's
bad
right.
when, like, in 10 years, those tapes are worth like $200 a piece.
I will feel bad. They're going to be like, oh, man, I got this for free. I'm going to be like, I did this, guys. Well, hey, how about this, Lloyd? Maybe if I buy every tape I can find and destroy almost all of them except for a handful, then I'll sell them for $300, $400 a piece. So
I don't think you'll ever be able to destroy every Battlefield Earth. I think they're multiplying as we speak. I think they're breeding.
because of me, I've started this and it won't stop.
You got a copy of that once you joined the Church of Scientology. I think that was
It came
one
in
of
the mail.
Hubbard's dictates.
That's what's included.
Came in the
You
mail.
gotta-
All right.
You got to go clear first, baby, before you get a
All right,
copy of
guys.
Battlefield Earth.
So if you guys know you're a guest on our show, you get a copy of Battlefield Earth. So this is going to Joe.
This was worth the time, that alone.
I hope you enjoy your reward for for speaking with us for an hour.
Battlefield Earth. Don't worry, you're getting this. I'm gonna put it right here in a special pile for Joe.
Okay,
shit, it went in the trash.
I want to remind everybody, go to fastcustomshirts.com. You can order all your t-shirts there. Joe has a lot of shirts, and most of them start at $10, right?
Yes.
Which, wow.
Nice.
Nobody's selling shirts for $10 anymore, guys. Get you a shirt. Get you several shirts. Buy a dozen.
Buy
10. All right,
two
so I'm
dozen.
going to do some math. 10, a dozen. 10 times 12, 2 times 0. Carry the 1.
40. 600.
That's $200 for a set of 12 shirts. I think.
That's the wrong math, Lloyd.
Oh.
You're not mathing yourself right at
Whoops.
all.
You could get them
Okay,
cheaper.
Lloyd.
He has work
2
shirts too.
plus
I have
2.
some of his work shirts. He's got a Baphomet work shirt. He's got a Deep in the Heart of Texas work shirt. He's got a Lovecraft work shirt. You got those in stock, Joe?
I've got a few. Work
Okay.
shirts is another thing that's been really hard to get a hold of since the pandemic started. I don't know why, but even
People are working, but they.
even the Dickies site is out of stock. So I've
Wow.
gone
That's
direct.
crazy. Do you do custom work shirts too? Because I've kind of been interested in doing like a Frightmare HQ work shirt or something.
Yes.
Or
I
set.
can do
Okay,
that.
cool.
Yeah, we do hoodies. If you go to the shop, there's a lot of stuff that I have there that's not on the site that I'll have on racks, and just go and visit.
Yeah, and you
He's
guys
got
can get
it.
the address to the shop on Fast Custom Shirts. I definitely recommend going to his shop too because, like Joe said, he's got a lot of cool stuff, but he'll also put you to work too. So it's a good
Yeah,
way
you can hang
you
out
know.
and drink beer and,
Talk
you'll be
movies and
working
work.
before you know it. You'll be drunk and
Yep.
working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
All
time
right,
I go there,
guys.
Joe's sitting back drinking beer, and there's like 4 people I've never seen before making shirts, like in the corner. I'm like, "What's going on, Joe?" He's like, "I don't know, free labor."
So besides Fast Custom Shirts, .com, fastcustomshirts.com, you can go to Facebook. Where else on social media can we hook up with Joe?
Instagram, it's T-shirt Joe, and there I primarily have pictures of custom work
Nice.
and artwork that I've done, like metal stuff and drawings and things like that. Also, again, boygob.com for the podcast.
Is
with
that
Tom and
BOY? GOB?
BOYGOB.
Is that Martino's site or is that something else?
No, this is just a site for the podcast.
So,
But-
okay.
But yeah, Tom,
What does boy gob mean?
it's something he was going to call his last film, Fisted,
Boy,
which ran through several different title changes, and that's just one we came up with when we were drinking one night.
Boy gob.
Boy gob, and it's become part of our vernacular.
Huh.
I like it.
Okay. So go to his social media, follow his personal page too. I'm sure you've got like 10,000 followers there, so there may not be room
100,000.
for any more followers on Joe's personal page, but go check him out. Please support Joe. He's an independent T-shirt screen printer, and he's
Yep.
absolutely amazing. He's a good guy. We love Joe. He's part of the family.
Very much so.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for being a good friend for all these years too.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for everything. Thanks for having me on the show, and it's been great talking with you guys.
The
Awesome.
real question is, Joe, do you want me to send this Battlefield Earth to your shop, or do you directly?
The shop would be good.
The shop.
I'm gonna do
I
that.
don't have a VCR at the shop.
That's why you want it at the shop, Joe.
I live close by, so I'm just gonna go by like real quietly, just like put it in front of the door like this, where it's just propped up in front of your door. That way, when you come in, you're gonna be like, "You son of a bitch." Be like, sorry, Joe.
Battlefield. It might get stolen if you leave it unattended, Charles.
Probably would
Yeah,
actually.
I don't
Somebody be
know
like,
about
"Oh
that.
crap,
We do have
Battlefield Earth."
homeless people wandering around, but they might go, "Oh, Battlefield Earth."
I don't want that shit. All right, guys. I think that's it for our show today. Again,
Yep.
thank you, Joe.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
for coming on.
Thank you,
You're a
sir.
great person. You're a good guy.
Very
And
much.
thank you. That's all I don't know how many times I'm going to thank you today, but I feel
Yeah.
like I don't thank you enough, sir. So tip of the
Appreciate
hat
it.
to you.
Take care, guys.
All right,
Yep.
man.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to manually kick you out now, Joe. Here we go.
Bye, Joe. Make my Battlefield Earth shirts. All right. Well, guys, I love talking to Joe. Joe really does some amazing work, and it's really well priced. $10 a shirt for most of his shirts. Can't beat that. And the shirts are actually really great quality. I consider myself a t-shirt connoisseur, if you will. So I know what I like, and he makes the good shirts.
Yes,
and it all comes down to the type of shirt you use, and Joe uses really good shirts.
He does.
Happy to
That's
have
the
him
thing
on,
about the shirts that he makes is I still have the very first shirt he ever made for us, and it still looks fantastic. He's not cheap with his ink. He puts on a good layer of ink, and it bonds really well to the shirt, and they last hundreds of washings.
Millions.
They really do.
Millions of years.
Millions of years.
It's going to be the year 6,433,000, and they're going to come to Earth, like in Battlefield Earth, and they're going to pull something from the ground, and it's going to be a shirt from T-Shirt Joe. That's going to be the only thing they're going to know about us.
That's all that's going to be left, or Battlefield Earth. And they're going to go, what in the hell was this society all about?
What was this society? Well, thank you to Joe, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. We love doing these spotlights with our Frightmare vendors. It's real great to not only, give them a place to talk, but also reconnect with them, because we don't get to see a lot of these people that often. And with Frightmare being delayed, with all the COVID, it's been even longer since we've seen a lot of our wonderful vendors, and they really are parts of the family. We've had these vendors for a while. We love seeing them. We love talking to them, and they're all huge fans too. So really great to have Joe on.
Joe's fantastic. I really do love Joe. He's a great guy, and he's always been. And I do every year. I feel terrible for sending him my order because it's so huge, and poor guy's just buried in our design. So,
Todd Lewis asked if he can nominate a vendor to be on a future show. If there's somebody you want to see on a show that's a Frightmare vendor, just let us know. I mean, it's up to them, kind of. If
that's
we'll
right.
always make time to have a vendor on, even if it's
Tell
at a
us who
different
it is.
space of time.
Tell us who it is. I'm going to step away for just a second. Tell us who you nominate, and I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah, guys. So again, T-Shirt Joe is one of my favorites. If you go to T-Shirt Joe's site, he has so many crazy exploitation shirts on there. Stuff that you're gonna struggle to find other places. As I'm sure you guys are aware, on this show, Lloyd and I like very random films, stuff that maybe is not known quite well. And I swear every time, though, Joe has a shirt of it. Let's see. Richard, yeah, you're right. Joe would be a good movie night co-host. I agree. I think, if Joe, if you're still listening, if you ever want to do our Twitch Prime viewing parties we do on Saturday night, you're totally open to that. It's really cool. Let's see here. So Travis Brown said Kitty Corvette. Let's see here. Todd Lewis said Russell Connor from Dark Filament Books. Bought 5 of the books at TFW 2019. Good writer. Okay, cool. We can definitely reach out. That'd be fun. I'm down for having everybody on here, guys. David Dugas also said Russell C. Connor. Okay. All right. So, I mean, again, guys, it's not so much up to us. We're happy to have everybody on here. It's kind of up to people's schedules and if they're down for joining us. So, more than happy to reach out to people, though. I think Lloyd's popping back in here. Lloyd, there you are.
I am here.
So
baby.
they want Russell C. Connor, a couple people
from Dark
Filament Book.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, he's a good dude.
So more than happy in here.
That would be
Ingrid
awesome.
said, "Do you think he would have a raffle?" I'm not really sure. What kind of raffle are we talking about?
I don't know, but there's a lot of good suggestions. Kitty Corvette would be awesome. Somebody, Travis recommended her.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling everybody that, we're never going to say no to bringing on a vendor. We love our vendors. It's just kind of up to the vendors if they've got time or they want to jump on with us. We're cool with everybody. We can always make time for vendors.
Absolutely.
Fun. I love talking to people.
Yeah, I would love to get more vendors on. There's so many people that we'd love to have on. We're just we just reach out as we go and ask people. So yeah, keep the suggestions coming. Would love to see anybody.
Yeah. Richard said Joe would be a good Saturday night movie host. I agree. I think Joe would be great to have on for a Saturday
Oh my
movie. 'Cause
God, he'd be fantastic.
there's no
wouldn't
telling
he?
what he would pick. There's no telling what he would pick too. So.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, so just remind everybody that we do have our Twitch Prime watch party. It is tonight, of course. We do it every Saturday. Well, almost every Saturday night. We didn't have one last week, but tonight we've got Motel Hell. So you got to have a Twitch account and an Amazon Prime account. But we are doing Motel Hell with Skidoo99, who is Jeff Evans, will be joining us. It was his choice. I haven't seen Motel Hell in a while, so I'm kind of looking forward to checking that one out tonight.
It's been a while for me too, and that's a wonderful movie. It's fantastic. I love that film.
Very true. And other than that, next Wednesday we've got our new decade. We're starting Year in Horror 1990, so we're starting the 90s. And I posted up on our Facebook, but got to let everybody know that it's going to be a fun year because there was 114 horror movies released in 1990, and our list is a little bit long. But I'm not going to cut it down this week because I was like, screw it, we're going to do all these ones I want to do. So,
we'll do it live.
We're going to do it live, so I'm planning on 6 to 7 hours for that show, guys. So get ready.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to the 90s.
Be fun. 90s is a good decade. It's you guys are going to see the 90s as a very wavy decade because it's like good, and then it's like nope. And then it's like, there's more good stuff, but then it's like, nope. It's like, okay, hold on.
I remember the
Like a roller
90s
coaster.
being that way. It just, there were some really good ones, and then all of a sudden everything was terrible.
I can tell you guys, the 1990 was a hard year to program. Lots of good movies. 91, I can barely find anything to talk about because I don't really like anything from 91. So I'm like, all right. And then 92 is the opposite. 92, it's like, hey, there's all these great movies. It's like, it's one of those years. But I can tell you guys, even if it's a bad year, that means there's more really bad movies I can talk about. So that makes it just as fun.
We had Pet Sematary in the 90s, right?
I don't know, Lloyd. You should be able to tell me that.
I can't remember, man. But it seems like that was a 90s flick.
Pet Sematary was 89. It was like the last
Was
year.
it really? Wow. Okay.
Sorry, Lloyd.
The 90s are a blur
what came out in
to me.
1990, though?
What?
Lots of stuff came out in the 90s, though. I mean, we got... I don't want to give away our movies, though, but there's lots of good ones.
Okay. All right. Works for me. Well, I'm just waiting. I'm just ready to get going on that one. I'm excited that we are here today, Saturday.
Yep.
It's been a great
Thank
show.
you, everybody.
Was really
It's been
happy.
fun.
Was really, really awesome. And to have Joe on, Joe Garcia. So thank you to everybody who joined us. Like Charles said, next up is the Prime Watch Party tonight of Motel Hell.
Motel Hell.
One of our watchers, Jeff Evans, is joining us as the host. So don't forget that tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yep.
What else, guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the next ones. Want to remind everybody again that Arrow Video does have that streaming service, which we mentioned at the beginning of the show. So just to reiterate that, if you go to arrow-player.com, there's a 30-day free trial that you're definitely going to want throughout the month of October. It's visible or it's viewable on Roku, Android, Apple TV, and iPhone, I think we'd seen. So definitely a great thing from there. Want to remind everybody that we do have our own Facebook page now, the Frimer HQ Facebook page. I think I've been inviting everybody to that. So if you like watching the show, feel free to give us a like and follow us. I try to post stuff up on there pretty frequently, whether about the show or just random stuff about movies. So definitely check that one out. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, do me a favor on the YouTube when you're done. Hit the like button at the bottom. Add a comment in there. Really helps us. And if you're not following our YouTube, start following it if you can, because I post up a lot of stuff on YouTube as well. I just did unboxing and overview videos for all of Vinegar Syndrome's new movies, which is pretty lengthy, but it's kind of fun to talk about these obscure films. That's kind of our sole focus here.
That is a great thing to remind people of, is to follow us on YouTube because of everything else that Charles does on this channel. we're not just a live stream, guys. We've got unboxing videos. Charles does a lot of coverage videos on covering different films and different genres. And those videos are, completely different than what you see us doing right now. They're not a live stream at all.
Not a live stream. They're they're actually produced videos. They've got some sort of a quality to them. We're not just crazy on here talking live,
And they're great
No.
videos, and Charles does a fantastic job of them. So check those out. Subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube. That really helps the algorithm and gets our videos out there to more people. And that's what we
it
want to do.
does. That is exactly what we do. And if you guys are watching this, if there's a specific movie that's a favorite of yours that you'd like me to make a video about, maybe talk about the history of a specific movie or something, we don't normally do one specific movie on our live streams. It encompasses a genre and a year. So I'm more than happy to take some suggestions of specific movies you want to hear more about.
Perfect.
You can keep them in most years. I mean, I don't know much about the 1920s, but I'll learn for you. Okay.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, until tonight at 7 p.m., I think that will wrap us up for the day. Thank you, Charles, for today.
Yeah, thanks,
that was
Lloyd.
awesome. And thank you all for watching. Lots of people watching right now. We're on. I think I went
thanks,
ahead
everybody.
and streamed us on everything for this one.
Cool.
We were on the Frightmare pages on Facebook, Twitter. We were on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, but all the Facebook pages that we have, YouTube. So thank you all
We
for
appreciate it,
joining
guys.
us. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Thanks for watching it. And we will see y'all tonight. Have a good day.
Tonight, guys.
Yes,
Tonight
sir.
and then Wednesday. Thanks,
Have a good
everybody.
day,
Appreciate
and we'll
you guys.
see you tonight. All right. Bye-bye.